No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
The Jaybot.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sunday edition of the Let's Get Growing show on the Urban Gardener channel. For those of you looking at the title, you might be a little bit confused. I'm saying that it's Enoch and me, Jay Dixon the Jaybot. However, for short notice, unfortunately, Enoch is unable to be here. So it is yet another Jaybot takeover. So you're going to see mainly me today, Jay Dixon, the Let's Get Growing facilitator. And the main way that I'm going to be presenting the show today is as a Let's Get Growing garden slideshow. So I'm going to be showing you different aspects of my garden for you to ask details, know a little bit more about what's growing and how it's growing, different aspects about what's going well, what didn't go well, etc. But also, because I can talk your ear off all on my own, but I have a little bit of mercy for you. I also would like later in the show the idea that you could also be one of the guests. So those of you that are familiar with the show knows that we occasionally have community shows in which we invite people to the stage. We will be having another of one of those in the near future. But what I'm offering is while you guys watch me do the slideshow, you can think about whether you might be willing to pop on much later in the show to come on stage for maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes, a short time to just talk about what's going well and what isn't going in your garden. Maybe some of you that have been perhaps a little bit shy to come on, if we make it brief, 2 minutes, there you are. Step a foot into the idea of being live, and then it's already finished. So what we're talking about today is what's going on in our gardens. You can participate by discussing that in the chat area, or like I say, much later in the show, we'll be opening up space for people to come on just very briefly to talk about what's growing on in your gardens. Another way that you could participate here is roll call. Let us know that you're here. Where are you growing from? What's growing in your garden? So what we're asking now is in the chat area, let us know, hey, I'm living in such and such an area, and let us know a few things that's growing in your garden. What's growing well, maybe a few things that were a little bit troubling, but I'll be highlighting that a little bit later in the show. Okay. Sorry, a little frog in my throat there. So what I'm going to start with here is just a little bit of a preamble about what's been going on with me in the gardens. I am a person who is a senior citizen now. I have multiple disabilities and life is a little bit challenging, but one of my great joys in life is gardening and the process of gardening as well as the results of gardening. And I can't say enough great things about it. In fact, I'm going to just show you something here that is going to be quite familiar to most of you, but you can see here just an example of one of the things from my garden. We are actually creating beautiful, practical jewels from tiniest little seeds. And it still amazes me after all these decades of gardening. And right now, a lot of my production is aimed towards getting great volumes of stuff because I am taking care of myself. I'm taking care of friends and neighbors and family members, but I'm also helping the local food bank. And one of my great joys to tell you is that this week, my food bank, which used to be once a month, but now is every 2 weeks because of the need, both in numbers and volume of what they have, for the need for the public. I was the first gardener to show up in my area and donate to the food bank. And I took practically everything that was ripe in volume and took it there and gave them about 50 pounds of produce. So they were quite grateful, quite pleased. And my point in telling this to you is that perhaps you could find, if you have excess in your garden, more than you can, more than you can freeze, more than you can dehydrate. If it's more than that, consider sharing out to friends and neighbors, but also consider what organizations you could approach to give them fresh produce, because the need has never been higher with our local food banks, and I've been hearing it's similar in other places. My voice was fine until I started the show. That's how things work. So, another thing that's been going on is in my community, we mostly garden in community gardens. And the community gardens we have here, we have 44 plots. They are roughly 10 by 20 feet, which is relatively small to most of the gardens in the UK, which has a very different system of the gardens, is my understanding. And we use those garden spaces as well as we can. And I've been learning over the years and decades more and more techniques from other gardeners, from my own experience, from YouTube, about ways to be more efficient. And one of the reasons I'm being more efficient is, again, to have more produce to be able to give to people, because right now, at least here where I live in Canada, the cost of produce has been going up and up and up, and it's actually becoming a tight squeeze for some people. So produce, fresh, natural vegetables is becoming a very precious resource, and we all have some skills and abilities to try and pass that along to people. It's such a practical thing. It's such a needed thing. So back to my community gardens, there's been some people in the community gardens who, over the years, different things occur in their lives. So that although they're usually steady gardeners year upon year, things happen like injuries, illness, surgery, a great opportunity for a longer vacation, but during the garden season, just different things happen to people so that they are unable to use their garden plots. So they don't want to give them up permanently. They love and care for their gardens normally, but just a temporary situation so they can't garden. So more and more of those people, knowing what I'm like, knowing that I'm trying to grow for the food bank, when they couldn't use their garden space, have loaned it to me. So that doesn't mean I've taken over their garden, but their life circumstances are such that temporarily they cannot use their garden right now. So they loan that space to me. So that's happened at different times throughout the season. Some people let me know in May, June. Some people didn't let me know until July. And where I live, which is in Midwestern Ontario, Canada, near Lake Huron, in my area, traditional growing season in most gardeners is from about May 20th till about October 10th to 20th. That is framed by our frosts, which is the last frost in the spring and the early frost in the fall. That doesn't necessarily mean no more gardening, but to most gardeners it does. And I encourage some of you who are especially greedy gardeners like I am to try and grow some more, to expand your ideas of what you can do to extend that season and go past that. In our area, for a number of different reasons, most of the gardeners stop around what we call Labor Day, one of our holidays, which is around September 5th or 7th most years. And that means that our growing season of what we can grow with our temperatures and time period is pretty limited. Well, what I'm trying to do is learn bit by bit different, very simple, easy techniques I can use to extend that a little bit further. So it's a little late for many of you to consider this now. But for example, one of the things I did yesterday was I took out a whole couple of whole big sections of potatoes slightly early. They could have stayed in there a little longer and gotten a tiny bit bigger. But by clearing out that space, I replaced that. I've got the potatoes now curing on my back porch to be able to, again, share with others and use and store some of it for myself. That space in my garden has been replaced by beets and carrots. But not only beets and carrots that I deliberately left in my garden last year. Only a few of them, maybe about 6, 7 of each left in my garden last year. They are a biennial plant, and now I grew my own seed. So I harvested the seed literally the same week as I cleared the space to put some of it back in. So what did it cost me to fill that space with carrots and beets? Theoretically, nothing but my labor and time. And because I only used space for 6 or 8 carrots or beets that I saved over, it didn't use up very much space in my limited space of my garden. And they produce prolifically for those seeds. So I have that happening in several different areas. And I've watered them in. Mother Nature has been watering it in. And the reason I chose those is not only because I have those seeds, but beets and carrots, if I can get them to a certain level of maturity before our frost, those things are actually fairly happy in the fall conditions of cool weather, less light, but also not only can take a frost, but by most people's opinions become better with frost. Because as those frosts occur, some limited plants not only endure it, but are actually better for it. So the beets and squash, the starches in them with a number of frosts that will occur late October, November here will actually become sweeter, better products to most people. So win, 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 win all the way along. And that's just an example of a change in mindset. And nobody else in my gardens currently do those kinds of things about thinking about successive sowing, fall crops, things like land race gardening. That basically means that I am preserving and saving my own seed for the purposes of my garden, because it's acclimatized to there. So I'm just giving you some examples of the types of things that's going on. The other thing that I want to let you know that's going on is this is my busy time. I've got about 6 weeks in the garden right now where the main production of both the warm weather and cool weather stuff is happening. I'm trying to get some stuff in for the succession sowing so that they can be established for the fall. So I'm about to put in some of the things like some of the greens like lettuces and spinach and things like that that can handle a little bit of cool, but I have to get them in real soon so that they're productive before our frost. So those are the kinds of things going on. It's a bit exhausting mentally and physically. It's a bit exhilarating because feeling like I'm taking the skills and knowledge I have and passing them on, not just here, but also in the actual real garden world for practical, nutritious things that people need, makes me feel good. And I hope that kind of feeling passes along for some of you. I'm just going to give you guys a quick reminder again that we will be having roll call in a little while. So if you haven't checked in yet, I will be calling upon you in a little while to let us know where you're growing from and what's growing on in your garden. So I'm just going to get to some show stuff for a second while we're waiting for you all to check in. So, and just one more quick reminder, later in the show, I'm intending, if some of you are willing, I'll give you the show link much later in the show, and you may choose to join us as a guest, just briefly, just to tell us what's growing on in your garden. Maybe show us something from your garden and just let us know like how you're feeling about your mid-season garden. How is it producing? What went well? What didn't go well? Not necessarily a full community show thing, just a quick little garden check-in so that we're hearing about more gardens than just mine. So, a quick reminder about a few things about the show. We are every Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern. And you can join in the conversation in a number of different ways. I've mentioned the chat area off to the side. Love to see that happening, especially when you help each other. Love that. Community building, helping other individuals. Love it. Possibly you may choose to join our show, or you can give us some comments after the show, and that's helpful to all. And a quick shout out to Team Replay, to people who are watching the show on replay. We are grateful that you also are joining us. Thank you for joining us after the stream by leaving that comment and letting us know what's growing on in your garden. Other ways you can help us is to like, subscribe, and share. You can drop your questions or comments in that chat, and we may feature some of those on the show. It's super helpful to us because it's a very busy chat area. Loving that. But if you've got a specific question or comment you really want seen, all caps in the front part of that comment really helps. And I'm going to mention something here about direct donations. We have comments down below in the show description about direct donations. You can use Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal's with those links. We also take them from the YouTube system. But the catch with that is that the fees are fairly high, and those direct donations help. And one thing I specifically would like to say is that Enoch, who unfortunately, for those of you just checking in late, Enoch cannot be with us today because he is unwell. So it's a Jaybot takeover. And what I would like to mention about donations is Enoch's trying to work things out to attend the Heirloom Expo down in Missouri this year at the Rare Seeds organization. And donations would really help in his ability to have a presence there. He would like to do live broadcasts at that show, but donations would greatly help towards that. And we would be super grateful if any of you would be able to do that, because that wouldn't it be amazing that from that location, Enoch was doing interviews and live shows and maybe even a panel show. So donations would be needed to help with that. It's coming up relatively quick. It's about a month away in order to book things like planes and stuff like that, because it's quite some distance for Enoch to get there. Direct donations would be super appreciated to help with him getting to the Heirloom Expo. And a number of you are planning to be there. Coast to coasters, people from our audience, just it's going to be a great time, and I'd love to see Enoch there. And by the way, we did have a sort of a fundraiser on the last community show, and many of you were grateful, and at that time I doubled the donations, meaning for every $1 donated, I doubled that amount. So I paid an equal amount to every donation that was paid. And Enoch doesn't know this, but I'm telling you, I'm going to do it again. Okay? I'm not made of money, but I really want to see Enoch show up at that Heirloom Expo. So any of you that donate from now till that time, I will equal your pay. So if you pay in, say $5 donation, it will become 10 because I will equal every donation done. So let's get him to that Heirloom Expo. Follow the links in the description below for all of that. And so today's theme is going to be a Sunday edition slideshow, and we're going to look around the garden. That's going to be a little later on. Hopefully some of you have considered the roll call and put your names and connections in. You're going to be letting us know what's growing on in your garden and where you're growing from. And I'm just going to go to the comments now. I hope some of you will be a little bit flexible. I'm not nearly as smooth and wonderful with all of the transitions and the connections as Enoch is, but I am super grateful for all of you here. And I'm going to be checking in on the comments to see who has joined us. So let's just go to, roll call.
My name is Kevin. Yeah. That is my name. Yeah. They call me Kevin. Yeah. Because that's my name. Roll call.
So we're back to a roll call situation. I super appreciate any of you who have joined us. If you feel like doing so, please let us know where you're growing from and how things are growing in your garden. I will do my best to find as many of you as possible. I do apologize if I miss any valuable contributors or comments. I am not nearly as smooth about this as Enoch is, because I am the Jaybot. I am not a human, not as advanced as all the rest of you. Okay, so we got Michael Connor here. Good afternoon, Jaybot. Hey, how you doing? I believe he was here before the show even started. Fantastic. And we've also got Muddy Puddles Farm. Hello from Cornwall. We've had a lot of rain. It'd be nice to catch up with you on your gardens and how they are growing. Good to see you here. And Michael is letting us know that he's from North Alabama Mountains, Zone 8A. Fantastic. Good. And Muddy Puddles, who is Joe, is saying, yes, I'm catching up. I've delayed watching as I've been busy. So many small channels are close to their watch hours, and I'm trying to help some of them out. So I would like to make a point about that. Many of those small channels are either contributors to the show or people who, are in the audience. And some of them, there's a big push for them to get their watch hours in. The key thing is looking for their long playlists and letting those play, but also interacting a bit. So ideally, you're going to pause them. You're going to make comments. You're going to like them, maybe adjust the volume and stuff so that they get qualified watch hours. And many different people are looking for that because some of the rules are changing within YouTube, and being monetized sometimes can be the difference between people having some of the costs covered for this hobby, this experience, and being further out of pocket. So I would like us to support each other by doing that. And it's not a difficult thing to help people with their watch hours. And Michael Connor is talking about what's going on in his life, why he was so busy. He sold all the birds, chickens, turkeys, ducks. Feed prices are up, such a squeeze on my budget. What costs $12 a big bag, that'll be 12 pounds, I believe. 12 a big bag is now 22, but working on the house. But with a lot working on the house. So he's talking about what's made him so busy in his life. For some of you who are unaware, in the UK right now, not a place where I live, so I'm only repeating what I've heard. But basically, they've got an extreme heat emergency that's been going on for weeks and weeks. Things are exceedingly dry, and there's been cascading effects on things it's done to affect produce, to affect health, to affect costs of things, to affect things like animals and whether they can keep them healthy, the cost of the food, and it cascades on and on and on about how much these cascading heat emergencies are causing for them. And here's Muddy Puddles yet again saying, Chad's video was a great inspiration. I just about put the idea of reaching that goal out of my mind. And what she's speaking to there is, and I don't have a link right now, but Chad, who is down home backyard gardening, his channel, he did a recent longer video to talk about the issues about trying to reach the goals for your channel to get the watch hours so that you can be monetized. And thank you to Robin Gardens. Glad to see you here. Hello from Chicagoland. Had to fuel up before the show. Me too. I was literally kind of throwing food into my face. I missed breakfast and was super, super busy. So glad you are here with us. And for those of you unaware, I do facilitation normally with this channel and others, but I also do producer type duties for some channels. And normally I'm doing some of this to aid Enoch, and I don't have a Jaybot to help me with this portion, so I'm going to be a little bit awkward in how I present this. So Robin says, from the northwest of Chicago, Zone 5B, harvested wax beans and amethyst beans. Oh, that's a new thing to me. Pickling cukes and mocha swirl peppers. Wow, that sounds nice. That's just this morning. Wow, more harvesting after the show. Yes, we've been having cascading thunderstorms and rain here, so I actually have to rush out after the show to try and harvest some of the stuff that may get too swollen because we've had too many rains, and that can split some of the fruit and stuff. So I'm trying to save some of it before it gets subjected to 2 or 3 more rains. And we've got Andy here, Meg's Edible Landscapes, and he's saying hello to us all. Hey, Andy. Andy's changed his business model. He does live streams on Saturdays, but he's changed his business model on how he operates. And if you watch some of his lives on Saturday and or some of his videos, you'll get to see how he's evolving his business sense and what he's doing. And I'm not going to do too many spoilers on it, but it's a really intriguing direction that's got him very focused and energized, and more things in the garden world. Hooray. Habitual hobbies. Hey, hello there. Haven't seen you for a little while. Glad to see you here again. And we've got Adam Burley. Thank you. Adam is normally just up the road from our main host, Enoch, but he is across the country from me, and he is a facilitator here, and we so appreciate it. And also you may see Robin doing a little bit of facilitation moderation, and we so appreciate her as well. Bowtie David, super busy guy. We are grateful to see you here. Triple G, greetings, global gardeners from the Emerald Coast of Florida, where Mrs. Bowtie is back in the finished bedroom, and the new 3D bubble wall is looking spectacular. He did a video. Can't recall if it was a full video or a short. I've been pretty tired, but he did a recent thing where he and the no-tie contractor is painting and getting that finished for that. So I'm quite sure she was happy about that. Bowtie is also a facilitator moderator here, and he is great. I am grateful that he is here with us today. And habitual hobbies. Oh man, I thought we were going to be live from inside the garden. I've considered that, but we have no Wi-Fi out there. I am not very techie, and it's like a noisy, loud, busy place of multiple people and multiple things going on. And I'm not techie enough to have the equipment or the know-how about how I can remote out there. So I'm sorry, it's just going to be a slideshow. That's all I've got. Nope. Hi, Enoch and Jay. We gave the idea that it was Enoch, and it was going to be up until 7 a.m. today. And then Enoch let me know he was unwell. So rather than cancel, it's the Jaybot takeover. So let's see who else. I'm trying to not miss anybody who is here. We are super grateful that you've joined us. And here's Robin asking habitual hobbies, will you be attending the Baker Creek Fall Festival? That's what I was talking about earlier on. A number of you will be there, and I am super happy that it's turned into that kind of gathering place for many of the people here. And So and Tear, hey, I haven't seen you here for a while. Hello from Douglas County, Oregon. Tomatoes finally have tomatoes. Everyone in the neighborhood still has green tomatoes. They'll ripen soon, I'm sure. My lone chard is feeding me. Okay, good. I know that you had to taper back or weren't able to garden like you normally would. So anything that's coming to you, this fresh organic vegetables, is a win in my mind. And most of my tomatoes are green and just finally starting to ripen up. I was about 10 weeks late starting my garden this year. Unfortunately, I was ill and getting it in place, so I'm super grateful for what's coming to share out of my garden. Darth X, thunder and lightning for me last night. 2+ inches of rain in under 4 hours. Similar to my situation. We had at least 12 thunderstorms come through here that I'm aware of. And we had small localized flooding, thunderstorm, lightning, and we actually had a power outage between about 2 and 5 a.m. So that was going on too. So I'm kind of coasting on about 2 hours of sleep. So hopefully you can have a little thought about where my brain is at on that little sleep. One of the things that we should create someday is a Jaybot bingo card. And on the Jaybot bingo card is weird and crazy facts you learned about Jaybot over the years through this channel and others. And one is, on the Jaybot bingo card, we'll put this one kind of near the center, is that I am a weather spotter. I help a channel, a local channel, with weather spotting. So I don't predict weather. Instead, what I do is I try to comment as accurately as I can about 20 times a day on what is the current conditions compared to what is it that they're saying the conditions are. And essentially what I'm trying to do is over time make it so that they have better and better accuracy for my area. Why does that matter? Are you a gardener? You know what weather means to gardens and gardeners. But also for me, over time, what I'm trying to do is get them extremely accurate for severe weather conditions, so that when we have severe weather that may affect us in terms of power outages, dangerous road conditions in the winter, etc., that we're getting closer and closer to accuracy for the people in my area. So I am repeatedly checking what's the current conditions in reality compared to what they say it is. And over time, I'm hoping to get them more and more accurate. So, weather spotter, bingo card. Okay, so let's see. Habitual hobbies. Guys, I passed 2,000 watch hours today. Only 1,000 more to partial monetization. Good. So, I'm going to be pretty busy hosting today, but in previous shows and possibly some of our moderators today may be able to put some of the channel links for you. Some of these small channels really do want your help for the watch hours, and there's habitual hobbies, and you'll be able to look that up. So, yes. So and Tear, she's letting us know that basil, Vietnamese coriander, sage, tarragon doing well too. Oh, so herbs. Yes. Nice. Let's see so I don't miss anybody. Oh, yes. And Robin is reminding us, oh, man, I didn't start without a refresh. If you're not seeing Jay, please refresh. What happens is if you came into the show early, if you don't refresh, the show doesn't appear to have started on YouTube. And that's what you need to do. But also hit all messages and live chat to see all of the live chat going on. We've got Hippie Chick Homestead. Good to see you. Hope Enoch is feeling better as well. Bowtie. Is there a hippie in the house? Hey, Angela, Hippie Chick. Yep, great. And We've got Habitual Hobbies reminding people to hit the like button. Those little things, like just simply taking a single second to hit like and stuff, does affect the algorithms, and it is super important for small channels. So please consider that. Katrina Sow and Tear is saying green beans failed this year. Oh no, I'm not sure what happened. Neighbor called me today to see if I wanted green beans. She's canned all she needs for the year. So she will be getting Gravenstein apples when ripe. Great, fantastic. I had abundance with my green beans, and I've slightly controversially planted second crops now to see if they're going to get to maturity before frost. And it's a bit of a chancer about whether they will or not. But I'm doing everything I can to encourage them on. And a comment here from Muddy Puddles: all food here is becoming expensive. Even people with full-time jobs are needing food banks here. And that's one of the reasons that I'm donating to our food bank. I don't have a lot of means myself. I'm fairly low income myself. I started helping the food bank about 7 years ago, and the numbers then were in the little village was 29 people, and now it's more than 150 people. Back then, the profile of people who were attending the food bank were mainly people on very fixed pensions or disability pensions, old age pensions, that kind of thing were the majority of the people attending. Now, in the profiles they're getting of the people, is that the people who were partially or fully employed who didn't used to come to our food bank are now having to, because of the cost of housing, the cost of utilities, transportation costs, and food costs. So that's one of the reasons the numbers have gone up. People who were making it before, but just making it, are no longer able to do so because of various different costs. And here's Darth X saying, how do you spell Canada? Oh, yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say it. Canada. Canada. Perhaps. Not sure if that's what you meant. Okay, so glad to see all of you here. If I miss a comment that you've made, I am sorry. I'm rushing through them and doing my best. Dusty Flats, good to see you here again. Hello, everyone. Going to get out of the kitchen today. Even if you can just join us for a little while to have a break, that will be fantastic. Or bring us to the kitchen with you. Shawnee often does food prep while watching and listening to our show. And however you get us, whether it's live or later, we're super happy to have you here. And Eddie Lyles is here. I didn't quite catch the early on thing, but there's Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Good to see you here. And Michael saying, well, the storms, something, Rubens, my okra blew over at 60-kilometer-an-hour winds. Then the gully wash rains hit the Everglades. Tomatoes weren't phased. Oh, so they made it. Good. Wow. The storms ruined my okra. Okay, so that's what you were trying to say. Yeah, ruined the okra, but the tomatoes were unfazed. Yeah. And let's see who else is here. We're doing a roll call, so any of you who may have not put your names in yet or not told us what's going on with your gardens, please do so. We are grateful you are here, but we'd like to hear what's going on in your houses, in your gardens, in your lives. Anything you're willing to share, we would be glad to hear it. Sow and Tear, she's talking about her garden. Beets volunteered every year for about 10 years. I ate the leaves, not the roots. So whatever survived, survived, and the seeds for the next year's beets. By the time I moved, flower stalks were at least 12. I'm not sure if she's saying 12 inches or 12 feet. I guess 12 inches of flower stalks. Very tall is the point. Yeah, good. And Habitual hobbies for roll call. I'm growing in containers in southern Missouri. It is very hot right now, and so there's heat stress, but overall things are going well. I harvested my first cantaloupe yesterday. I theoretically have cantaloupe growing in one of the gardens, but I'm not sure it's going to get to maturity before frost, but I'm giving it a go. And Muddy Puddles, this is the first year I've grown beet that isn't traditional red. Oh, now we're going to be challenged on this name. I chose Chiogia, and I'm enjoying the lack of staining, and they taste even better than I thought. Oh, neat. Okay. Habitual Hobbies is saying, I'd love for Enoch to be able to come to the festival as well. He really is doing what he can to try to go there. He really wants it. But quite frankly, at this time, it's the finances. And if any of you can contribute, once again, donations and details are down below in the description. But if you donate, I will equal whatever you donate. So if you donate $10, I will donate $10 so that we can get Enoch to that festival. So he's waiting. And Adam is saying support the Let's Get Growing show. You can support the show by subscribing, liking, sharing. And we'd like to show some extra love. You can drop a super chat, and there are the direct links down below. So thanks for mentioning that, Adam. And here are those links. Fantastic. So you can have them there and also in the chat. Thank you so much for that work, Enoch. On behalf of Enoch from Adam, thank you. And someone else is mentioning, Darth X. Oh, I got to say the name again. Chiogia is what I'm planting for fall and winter. Oh, interesting. And flattery will get you everywhere, Katrina. Oh, and more people. Thank you. Hippie Chick saying you're doing an amazing job. Thank you. I so appreciate the positive comments. And here's one from Bowtie. I'll be in for a quick show and tell of the Ugly Garden later when you post the link. Yes. Yes. And even if it just can only be quick, I am totally happy for that, because otherwise you're going to have a slideshow of just me, and you don't want that. A certain amount is good, but let's hear from other people beside me. So that will be later in the show. And here is Hippie Chick saying, things are finally ripening in my Pacific Northwest garden. Tomatoes are slow this year, and the peppers are taking center stage. And Robin Gardens is saying, love new ideas for cooking in your garden. Katrina, Sew and Tear, she does different things regarding cooking videos. And she does special things where it's members' lives where she does specific cooking projects. So consider that. And Habitual Hobbies is saying, getting really close to the watch hours, 997 left after partial monetization, etc. Yeah, so any of you that can help her out on her channel, that would be fantastic. Just as an example, I helped Big Will Dog and his channel, and I watched all of his long form videos. All of his long form videos, caught up. Yes, he did one more recent video in the last day or two. Need to get that. But the long form videos is what they need to get those watch hours. And Meg's Edible Landscapes, Jaybot needs a bot. I did ask a couple people if they would be willing to help in the chat area today. The key thing is that for this level of StreamYard, only Enoch and I can do admin stuff. So I can't kind of lend that space to somebody else, but would love it. Janet McDonald, good to see you here. Yes, the heat is the top weather danger. Company over, just so little into live. So just left, so into live. Not quite sure what you're saying there, but yes, consider the weather dangers, everybody. And here's someone saying, I found all of your videos playlist. I will start it later for habitual hobbies. Fantastic. It is important that if you're going to watch someone's playlist, that you not watch another channel at the same time, because YouTube, my understanding, not a professional on this, is that YouTube only counts the hours on the single channel. So one of the strategies I've been using is when I have to step away to go do something else, is I start that playlist and try to do a little bit of interaction and then go about my life. Not that I don't watch some of the shows as well, but I do want to get those playlist watch hours in. Let's see. I just want to be careful that I'm not missing anybody. This is such a challenge of a name. Methydicus albreticus. Good to see you here. And here's the Baker Creek schedule that I was talking about. Many of you are attending. Let's try to help get Enoch there. And Dusty Flats, we get under a ½ inch of rain once in a while. I don't know because I don't have a rain gauge out, but I would estimate that we probably had a minimum of 4 inches in the last day, and we are due for some more after the show. So a fair bit. I'm not quite sure what this means, but I'm going to take it as a positive. Red finger number 1, Jaybot. Okay, good. Robin Gardens talking about Hippie Chick Homestead and a link to her stuff. Jay, is there anything you don't do? Yes, we could spend quite a bit of the show talking about things that I'm not good at or have never tried or not likely to try. But one of the philosophies I hit when I was a young child, I grew up quite poor, quite deprived, not internationally world level deprived, but for our area, pretty limited circumstances. And I hit a philosophy that I was going to enjoy and try and do as many things as I reasonably could, considering my income, considering my health. I have a lust for learning, a lust for trying new things. I literally want to check out so many things, and I don't have literally enough life and energy for everything that is fascinating in the world. I have trouble grasping the idea of boredom. I don't have enough everything to be able to check out everything that's cool and interesting in the world. And if someone can figure out a way that I can gain an extra few years of life, love it. Eating my organic vegetables might be one. So let's just see. I'm going to go quickly through these because I know it's taking a little while. Blue Wolf, good to see you. Tomatoes are doing great in Mount Shasta, harvesting about 10 pounds a week. Wow, that's fantastic. You must have some great preserving, or you're giving them away, or holy cow, that's a fantastic amount. Yes. I will be missing some of your comments because I'm scrolling through. If you've got something super important to say, please put some capitals at the front so that I don't miss you or your comment or question. It's that. Oh, and someone's trying to help me with my pronunciation. It's pronounced ch-I-o-gu. Oh, I feel like I know less than I did before. Okay. And Blue Wolf is saying Hippie Chick, Martino's, Roma, and Cherokee Purple are doing the best currently. Great. Thank you. And Bowtie is saying, thanks for getting those links in there, Adam. I'm listening on 3 platforms. Oh, fantastic. He's helping with the watch hours. Great. And thanks to all of you who are helping in the chat and people who are here in the audience. We so appreciate you. Adam's letting us know flights out of Enoch in my area are extremely expensive. For decent flight prices, we have to drive 300 plus miles. And then you usually have to have a place where you can store the car, and then the fees for that. And and then the extra fees. So yeah, Enoch could use all the help that you are willing to give to help get him to that event. And then we have a few other events we would love to be able to do location broadcasts. Michael Connor is saying, Dave, look what I sent. Look at the Evergrade tomatoes. They look like a holly bush. Oh, I guess they sent pictures to each other. Fantastic. And more links for other channels. And here's someone here talking. You're going to make me hungry. Let's read it anyway. We made Hungarian goulash this month. Next month is pear butter and ricotta ravioli in a roasted garlic cream sauce we made a few years ago, and it's so worth the repeat. So my understanding is she works within her members group to decide what they're going to grow. As you can hear, in my opinion, gourmet type food offerings for these recipes of what you can make, and they decide with Katrina what they're going to make for the next session. So that sounds fantastic. Let's see. I want to try to make sure I don't miss anybody else. Dusty Flats has to leave us, unfortunately, but is going to check us out on replay later. Glad that you popped in. Sean the Gardener, glad to see you from Cornwall, UK. Thanks for coming. We so appreciate you. And one more one. Adam, I find Cherokee purples are hit and miss. Some years I get a lot, and I'd be lucky to get one per plant. So they were talking about a specific type. And I think I am caught up on the chat now. So I am, for those of you coming late, my name is Jay Dixon. I am sometimes known as the Jaybot. Normally this show is run by Enoch, but unfortunately Enoch is unwell, and so I am taking over for him. It is the Jaybot takeover. Today, the main thing that we're going to be talking about is doing a slideshow for the garden. But briefly, what I'm going to do now is just have us go to the first break, and then I'll be coming back to talk about future shows and get on with the slideshow. Thank you so much. Roll call is still on if any of you stop in and have not let us know yet what's growing on in your garden. Please drop us a comment in the chat area, and I'm just going to play our first ad break.
Hello, let's get growing live gardening community. I'm Charles Malky, biologist and co-founder of Ivy Organic brand products. Ivy Organic is based on whitewashing, a time-tested way to protect plants from summer sunburn, winter sun scald, pests, transplant shock, and environmental stresses. Unlike latex or tar-based products that crack, peel, and leave residue on your soil indefinitely, Ivy Organic is truly organic and a healthier alternative. It dries on porous, allowing plants to breathe and heal naturally without rotting. Also ideal for protecting your pruning and grafting wounds. Available in white for maximum reflection or natural tones like brown, green, gray, and grayish. Ivy Organic protects while blending beautifully with your landscape. Choose from the whitewash oil-free formula or the 3-in-1 plant guard made with natural oils to help repel insects and rodents. Protect your plants the smart, organic way with Ivy Organic. Learn more at ivyorganics.com, and wishing you all happy gardening.
Great. So we have links down below, and probably there will be some things show up in the chat. Our sponsor, Ivy Organic, we so appreciate what they do for the show. And just a reminder to you that you will get a discount if you use our promo code with the Ivy Organics. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some past and future shows. Just a reminder to some of you that today our main theme is Midsummer Garden Tour. It was initially going to be Enoch and I, but it's now going to be mainly me, and inviting some of you in later in the show, if you can join us even briefly to talk about what's going on in your garden in the midsummer. Yesterday's show that we had here was Cisco Morris. Oh, sorry about that. Cisco Morris was on our show yesterday, and also, just a second, I'm going to get my banner out of the way. There we go. And Rutilation was also here, and they were excellent guests. If you missed that show, please check it out in our playlist. Recently, we also had a show with Gardner Scott and Big Will Dog in the Soil. They were the previous weekend, and that was on the last Saturday. And on the Sunday edition, a week ago, we had Charlie Nardozzi along with MBC talking about the continuous vegetable garden, a very interesting concept in gardening, in a way to extend your garden so that it is a far less effort on your part, but more of a continuous flow of plants happening for you. Coming up next Saturday and Sunday, we have Farmer Greg Peterson from the Urban Farm. He's going to be coming here next weekend. And also we will be having Andrew Milson on the Sunday edition, doing Adventures in Permaculture with MBC. So those are future shows that will be coming up. Don't miss those. Great. Super. I'm just going to give you a reminder that I'm going to be starting my slideshow fairly soon, but I want you guys to consider whether you are willing to stop in on the show a little bit later on. I will be providing a brief space for each of you to just pop in if you choose to. And I have a backstage show link. That is what's going to be showing up for later in the show for some of you to join and just talk about what's going on in your garden. Some of you who are a little bit shy, just pop in for 2-3 minutes. That's totally fine. So I'm going to be providing that show link a little later for after my slideshow and getting that started. Okay, so now we're going to get started at my garden slideshow. Any of you that have any questions or whatever, please put them in all caps so that I'm better able to find them in the comments, because you guys have a lot going on there in the chat and we love it, but it is a super busy time. So it is hard to see all the comments amongst the sea of beautiful words and supportive things that you guys are working with and saying to each other. So I'm just, before I start my slideshow, I'm just going to say hi to a couple of you that have popped in. Anna Jones here. Good to see you. Also, Serena is there somewhere. Great. The person who's popped into my basement, I'm going to be doing guest stuff. My original plan was a little bit later, but if you are on a time limit, let me know and I can pop you in before I start my slideshow. So we've just had a guest potentially going to be showing up to do a brief talk about it. And if you're on a tight time limit and can't stick around for later, I will fit you in right now. If that person could just communicate with me and let me know. Okay, no time limit. So I'm going to do my slideshow first and then let other people pop in next. So we're going to get started with this. For those of you that are late coming in here, my name is Jay Dixon. I am the Jaybot. Normally in this show, I provide a few functions where I'm a moderator, facilitator, and I do some producing type things in the background. Normally you would have Enoch, who's much more experienced and smooth at this. Unfortunately, Enoch is ill. On very short notice, he was unable to step forward. So initially the slideshows were only going to be a few of my pictures and a little piece of the show. Enoch's had to step away. So now it's going to be my stuff. So we're going to talk about what's going on in my gardens. And why do I say gardens plural? Well, interesting for those of you that are kind of new to the show, I garden in a tiny home tiny home village with very tiny gardens. And that limited space is a blessing and a curse in terms of the amount of space you want to work with, but I'm very plant greedy, especially in terms of producing stuff for other people, for friends, family, neighbors, and the food bank, and a few other charitable purposes. So my idea is that in the limited growing season we've got, in the limited space, I'm trying to grow as much as I can. And people lend me their gardens temporarily because they were unable to garden. And so you're going to see some of those garden plots. And I'm just going to... I just have to adjust a couple things here. Just a moment. Your patience is appreciated as I work out the right ways to do this. I'm just going to put in a blank template in the back so that you don't see weirdness around the picture. So there we go. Sorry, I'm just going to have to change this for a second. There is a lot more technical stuff going on than you would ever believe. And apparently it's not going to allow me to generate a background, so we're going to have to go with the fact that the edges are going to be a little strange with our pictures. Okay, so this is the first one here, and this is a specific plot, and that's a 10 by 20 space in the vegetable gardens, and half of that on the left side of the picture to me is potatoes, and that I'd saved a whole bunch of sprouted potatoes and put them in, and then all the rest of that is summer squash. And so there's little variety, little going on. This person had loaned me this space to grow for the food bank, and it is literally a third to half of just sprouted potatoes that I had and summer squash. Lack of variety. The reason behind that is because it's a lot of work taking care of multiple gardens, and the food bank is still happy even if I show up with boxes and boxes of the same thing, because there's a lot of people, you know. So this is the next plot, and this is one for a neighbor of mine. And I'm just going to read off some of the things that's in here. But here's a garden plot that the fencing is there, but not that solid. The garden plot, the soil has not been improved much over years. I have quite a bit of mulch going on there to try and make it less work for me, less weeding, less watering. I have 2 different types of mulch happening that are free and abundant in my area. And there I am growing as a combination for both the neighbor who is got some life circumstances temporarily where they can't grow, and the food bank. So I have about 12 to 15 tomato plants, cucumbers, potatoes. I took half the potatoes out the other day and put in those landrace seed beets and carrots that I talked about. So they're now in the front of that. There is a melon that I don't know if they're going to get to full growth by the time our season ends. And there's a couple of different types of squashes, including some decorative squash. So you can see they're in a big bundle there that should have been trellised or trained or adjusted, but that ain't happening. They're just doing their own little thing. And one of those squashes is a decorative squash because someone had given me some plants, and that's what it was. That raised bed I also built for them using adapted hugelkultur methods. And in there are beets, carrots, turnips, and bush beans. And recently, like I said, the front section there had those potatoes taken out yesterday, and carrot and beet seeds that I'd actually grown myself are going on in the front there. And here's another plot. This is a different person who has some issues about bending and lifting and stuff. So in that plot, these people don't garden a whole lot, so they're just they're loaning it to me temporarily. There's a very abundant bunch of raspberries, kind of not really in full control on the one side near the composter. And then in the tall bed that stood up, it's got some carrots and beets, an unknown kind of like lettuce thing that I have yet to identify that came from the owner, and then some small tomatoes. And then in the back bed, which again, I built these beds for these people and put in, the owner built the physical beds, and then I did the hugelkultur to fill them. And then as you can see that there's a whole bunch of mulch around for the walking area. So again, less weeding, less watering. In the back bed is somewhere between 16 and 20 tomatoes. And in the front bed, there was a whole bunch of those carrots and beet seeds that I talked about from last year that I allowed to grow up. And currently there is some kale, Swiss chard, and lettuce that I'm letting go to seed, and then more of those beets and carrots seeds that were just planted in where it looks like there is soil. So I'm just going to go briefly over to the comments and see what I've missed while I was focusing on photographs there. If I miss any of your comments, I am sorry, but the best way to get my attention again is to shout it out with capital letters. Muddy Puddles. David, don't be picking on the Jaybot. She's full of awesomeness. I don't know what he's picking on because I was too busy in the watching the videos. Serena's letting us know that she was at a Master Gardener meeting. Oh, really? On Wednesday? And I guess someone had it, but wasn't obvious that they were coughing. Oh, yeah. I have some health issues where I can't really be around people who are unwell. And Jaybot is primo facilitator, but a mediocre newbie to technology. Yeah, I really am, especially when I'm really overtired. So, yeah. And thank you for this support. Hippie Chick is saying, don't forget to minimize the chat and hit that like button. Thank you so much for that. I'm not sure what's going on. Serena's got some issue with the sound. If anyone else has an issue with sound, please let me know. And figuring out the technical stuff, please be patient. I do hope the sound is working for you now. It's looking like it is. But please shout to me if you're not. And thanks for saying you're doing great. So we so appreciate all of you for coming and joining us. And I'm just going to check. Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to go on with some more garden plots. So these are multiple garden plots that people are loaning their space to me. So yeah, so that's what's going on. I just want to, oops, hide the current comment. There we go. There are more steps. For those of you who are unaware using StreamYard, there are more steps and more things going on than you would think. And it's a little bit of a stretch for me to do this. So, but I so appreciate all of you having your patience with me. So we're going to go on to the next one. This particular one is it's a double plot, but as you can see, has no fencing on it, and the soil, as far as I know, has never been improved ever in the decades that I've been around there. But this person had a very weedy plot that the few plants they had in there were getting strangled. So I basically approached the person and said, do you mind if I weed your plot? I will try to be as careful as I can, but there will be some plants that I cannot see because the weeds are double the size of your plants. So can I help you with them getting some breathing room and nutrients and water and sunlight and stuff? And they said yes, and then instantly said, hey, I know you grow stuff for the food bank. When this open space in my garden plot, plant stuff for the food bank. So hooray for that. It's a double plot, and you can see in the far back there is asparagus that is very abundant, very fuzzy and furry, growing up and doing what it needs to. And at the very front, you see rhubarb. So those are perennial crops that are, if you can afford the space and you like them, something to seriously consider. Once you get them established, it's almost set it and forget it. There are tomato plants that are both the original owners and my own. There's tomatoes, 16 to 20 plants. And there are also bush beans, carrots, onions, beets, and I am trying to urge up some summer squash. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it. And here's the same garden from a different angle of showing those things that are in there. And that's another plot. This is my partner's plot. It even looks a little different now because I harvested most of the potatoes out of here. So this particular garden plot has asparagus. You can see at the edges near the back. Sunchokes at the far back. It's got summer squash, potatoes, 15 to 20 tomato plants, kale, Swiss chard, turnip, carrot. There's new carrot and beet seeds that I put in, and at the very, very front near the fakey flowers are real flowers that are forget-me-nots, and that's to attract pollinators, and it's just something I had in abundance. And that's that garden plot. And here's yet another one. This particular one is again, no improved soil, a fairly nice set of fences. This person loaned me this space, I think about 5 weeks ago, and growing in here, again, loaned space for me to grow for the food bank, is summer squash, kale, eggplant, beets, carrots, about 20 tomato plants, peas, and cucumbers all growing in there. And here's that plot from a slightly different angle. So there's that one. And then I have another one. And this particular plot is slightly interesting. It's a little hard to tell from this picture, but it's actually a homemade raised bed because these people are unable to bend very easily. And also there's straw bales at the front and to the side. So again, raising up those garden plots so that those people don't have to bend. But mainly it's me growing for them and for the food bank. And in here are asparagus at the far back, tomato plants, about 12 of them, bush beans of different types. This is the second crop of the bush beans. So there's old ones and new ones. There's carrot seed in there, and potatoes. I harvested most of the potatoes that are visible there. Some of the turnips, but some of them are still there. Cucumber, peas, beans, onion that is being allowed to go to seed, onion that you actually, can eat, that's actually growing. Eggplants, some different types of greens. And in the squash bales, I was new to squash bales, and you have to do some steps to prep them properly. I was a little late with that, and I tried cucumbers in them 3 rounds, and I am lousy at it, and they all died. So now there are summer squashes in there. So that's the main plots that were loaned to me. Here's some of the deliciousness from the garden. Is some tomatoes of different types and potatoes of different types. Hooray. And the last garden plot that I'm going to talk about that's for the actual veggie gardens there is my own home garden plot. This is the one that I've established myself. My partner helped me build it, gradually year upon year, trying to make it better. And I'm going to show you 3 quick pictures of that and tell you what's going on there. And so this is the entrance through the gate of what you see. As you can see, I'm extremely plant greedy. I fit as much in there as I can that's not going to interfere or cause problems for the neighbors. The plots are very close upon each other, but yet I made sure those trellises do not shade any of my neighbors. So in this garden, and I will show you 3 different pictures in here. There's rhubarb at the front, 2 plots, because I donate it to a different seniors program regarding food. There is on the rail some raised containers that are beans. This is my second crop of bush beans in there. There's tomatoes in pots. There is cucumber, tomato, beans, Brussels sprouts, tomato, different types of tomato. There are pole beans at the tall back of this. Up the trellises is various different things, but usually tomatoes, but sometimes cucumbers. There are carrots, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, 2 types of cabbage, and cucumber coming in pots. So that is the vegetable gardens. That's the public vegetable gardens. Thank you so much for your patience with that. Now, I'm just going to go back to the comments for a few minutes and just see what I've missed when I was focusing on all those pictures of lovely plants doing lovely things for all of us. And let's just see if I've missed anybody who's come here. Let's see. Some jokes from Serena. Talks amongst yourselves, which I so appreciate. Here's a nice comment. Serena found 4 monarch caterpillars on the milkweed in the backyard. How nice. Yay. Meg's Edible Landscape. Question for Jaybot. Have you ever purchased herbs from Richter's Herbs in Ontario? Just discovered them this week. They are an extremely reputable, well-considered organization. I've never dealt with them directly, but many people who are, let's say, more comfortably income than I do that. And they are actually not terribly far from me. I think they're in Richwood or something like that, which is, I believe, about 3 hours east of me. Extremely well reputed organization. So I would recommend buying from them. Someone's letting me know the sound is good. You went silent when you were pushing buttons for a few seconds. Yes. What's not known to most of you is when you're using StreamYard, sometimes when you do certain functions, they mute you, whether you want it or not. So that's good. So thanks, everybody, for letting me know about the sound. Fabulous. And Bowtie. See, I know my Jaybot. Good. And Janet, good to see you here. It's always good when you're here. Thank you. I so appreciate it. Enoch and I were kind of back and forth about whether he was going to cancel the show or let me do the Jaybot takeover. And we're doing the Jaybot takeover. And here's Serena throwing in just one of her many jokes to lighten our mood. What's a gardener's favorite card suit? It is spades. Thank you, Serena. And anybody else who've got comments, if you can do capital letters so that I see it, that's great. I'm just going to show you a small amount of slides that are about my home garden. And then anybody who wants to join us for the live, start getting ready. I'm going to provide a link here. And this link is to join us. So I'm calling it link to join. What I'm suggesting is if any of you in the audience in probably about 10 minutes wants to join us, even very briefly, to talk about what's going on in your gardens now, we would so appreciate it. So this link will take you to the backstage area, a show and tell, maybe just a discussion of what's going on with your garden right now. And that link hopefully will show up for all of you. I'm just going to make sure that happened before I go to the next section. Fabulous. So it's link to join. Yay, we've got another person. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is just another few quick quick pictures of what's going on with my home garden, and then hooray, we're going to see and hear about other people's gardens. So that would be really, really good. So if any of you who are choosing to join us happen to have a thing for a show and tell, or maybe you just want to talk about what's going on well, what isn't going very well in your garden, if you can only give us a couple of minutes, 3-5 minutes, I'm still happy for it. But in the meantime, I'm just going to quickly go through what's going on with my home garden. So I'm going to do that. And I do apologize that I was unable to fully block the pictures for excellent viewing. So here's my home garden. And in my home garden, oops, sorry about that. That's my usual garden. Here is my home garden. And these are my driveway planters. I've had them for decades. They are usually by whatever driveway of where I live. And an assortment of different things happens there. They're just on the side. That's my easy grazing. Like if I just want to walk out the door of my place, go on my drive, walk 5 steps, go to my driveway, grab some stuff for a salad, grab stuff for like a midnight snack. Boom, there it is, done. People come by and are pleased to see them. I encourage a small amount of grazing, and thanks to another new person in the audience, I'm just going to go through these less than 10 pictures kind of quickly. These are some really large urns that are at the edge of my driveway, and they carry a whole assortment of stuff. And you'll notice that there's kind of like a squash plant coming out the side. That was a volunteer, but I'm letting it go. We're going to see what happens, So again, cool stuff in my garden. And these are my balcony planters. I have 3 of these, and they hold different stuff inside. And currently they have mostly bean plants in them that are getting bigger. And this is an archway that was an arbor that was given to me by a local person. I had to rebuild it, and it's got pole beans in sort of a haphazard way going on my arbor. Small space gardening, fitting in what I can at my home. And this is along my hedgerow. I have about 10 planters of a whole range of different things going on there. Some flowers, some ferns, some cane berries, my small fig tree, a dwarf fig, all happening in there. And they're in there because I found full sun was too much for them. So this provides just enough sun and shade so that they are happy campers being in my space there. And these are apple trees and peach trees that I am growing. They're in the 2nd year, so they are small. And here are the peaches that I'm allowing to grow there. A little early for 2nd year peaches, but my partner really wanted peaches this year, and I couldn't make him sad. And on the far back section of my garden is a Gravenstein apple tree that is not going to be producing this year because I pruned it heavily. It was overdue, but it was fantastically productive last year. And yes, it is a Gravenstein. It's an unusual type of apple. And the last thing on this slideshow will be my geese. One of the things I'm known for in my neighborhood is I have 2 concrete geese. A woman down the street felt that my geese needed a friend, so I now have a Canada goose that's also part of the group. And yes, it is exceedingly silly that they are dressed as insects in the garden, but that's how I roll. So we got ladybugs in the back and a bee in the front because I dress up my geese in a silly manner because that's how I roll. So thank you so much for your patience in watching my slideshow. Hooray to the people who have decided to join us. I am thrilled that you're willing to talk to us at all. The kind of theme that we're talking about today is a look around your garden, kind of discuss or show us a few things that's going on with your mid-season garden. I'm going to start and pick people in the order in which they showed up. So we're going to have adding to the stage. I would like to appreciate the first person who came in. Are you ready? Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Fantastic. And welcome to the stage, Bowtie David. Hey.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here. You know what? I'm sure no one wants to see the 3D bubble wall that you were talking about earlier.
I'd pay money to see the 3D bubble wall.
Let me tell you something. It came out amazing. We got a lighting issue, but yeah, it really did do some. It was a thing, and I'll end on that. But you were talking about ugly gardens, and we have an ugly garden out here, and I just want to. You were talking about show and tell. Whoop, let me turn the camera around here while I'm thinking about it.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, we're looking in the pepper bed. Now these are where some of my mega hot peppers are. That red thing right there, that's a dragon's breath pepper, and there's some MA warthogs down. Oh, I see an MA warthog right down there. But the amazing thing is how much weeds is in here. And people freak out about the weeds. And we have weeds. We have leaf flower. We have, we have marigolds that are weeds right now. The marigolds are just growing everywhere. I actually chopped out, you can see down here on the ground, a whole bunch of weeds out of that particular bed. But look at our sunflower patch. But
wow.
we still have flowers. And these flowers are amazing. This one right here, I tell you what, this one has been non-stop bees for days.
Okay.
Can you see the bee on there?
Yes. It
has been non-stop bees, but and we harvested a bunch. Basically, the cool thing is, you know, you do a little bit of chaos, things still work. They may not work as marginally better, but like these sugar cane are still looking about 9 foot tall now. We got buttercups coming out. I didn't even know we had buttercups coming out. We have a new flush of buttercups coming. But yeah, and I wanted to show you this. I mean, the weeds. This is all weeds in here. There are some blackberries, but I haven't looked at this today, but I have a feeling I can probably find at least one cucumber. We harvested about 5 pounds of cucumbers yesterday. So even with the mess.
How much?
5 pounds.
Wow.
That's about 2.5 kilos, I think. 2 kilos, a little over 2 kilos. Yeah, it's shocking. And then of course, I mean, we got grasses growing. And this is because, well, Mrs. Bowtie had shoulder reconstruction surgery, and I'm working my tail end off on the remodel, but we got nothing but weeds growing down here. But look at this bell pepper still growing down in here. It's huge. This is a Hosinator bell. This thing has been a champion for us. We have Hosinator tomatoes, which have no tomatoes on them right now, and they look terrible, but we're holding out for a second flush on those. Check out the pomegranates. Look how massive that is. It's bigger than the palm of my hand, and there's tons of them up here. Just absolute tons of pomegranates. But we have done virtually nothing out here in months.
Well, you've been focusing on your house, working yourself to exhaustion. Your wife in her day job and recovering from surgery. I mean, why weren't you in your garden by flashlights instead of sleeping?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And some of those nights we just literally come home and we crash and literally cannot move. Look at the grapes. This is the grape arbor. Completely unkempt, and we've actually lost a lot of grapes. All of those organza bags, those are bunches that have fallen off. But look up here at all the organza. Oh, there's one right there. Ooh, that feels like a nice soft one. How about I try a grape on camera? I have not tried a good grape yet. There's one good grape down in here. Oh, come on. There's a bad grape and a good grape in there. Yeah. There we go. This ought to be interesting. Good entertainment, right?
Well, give it a try.
Oof. Has a slimy thing on the back.
Oh, like a friend?
No. piece of the other grape. Oh,
Okay.
oh yeah. Super sweet. Oh my goodness. It's a Scuppernong muscadine grape. Has a rather thick skin. Has seeds. I'm going to have to spit out seeds. Sorry.
Yep. We didn't see it. We see nothing.
Does have seeds. It's more one to do like jams or oh, my headset's falling off. Jam or wine with, from what I understand. We haven't got quite enough, but we're going to eventually make something out of those grapes. But I wanted to show you this bed. Sorry, this bed is the epitome of what our garden looks like right now.
Okay.
So brace yourself, all you gardeners that actually love your gardens.
Well, we love our gardens. Sometimes life just takes over sometimes so that you can't do what you intend.
Now this end of the garden we've got. What's that?
Yeah. For me, my health sometimes means that things aren't as orderly as I'd like.
I know you can relate. But yeah, we've got tons of turmeric. We've got this beautiful lantana. This is the Chapel Hill Gold lantana that I'm going to be taking a ton of cuttings from and propagating. I discovered a couple months ago that this thing seeds out. I mean, starts out with cuttings really good. Of course, canna lilies. There's a tea plant, that purple thing. There's smartweed in here. Biden's alba, which is a weed. Now, this Biden's alba makes a yellow flower with white petals that the bees just love. And I hate to tear out Biden's alba, but this is a weed. And if you look at the stem, you can see the roots growing. This thing just grows across the ground and roots everywhere and spreads and just goes nuts. It's a crazy plant.
Before you move on, I have a couple of viewer questions for you.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is from Val Thatcher. Why bag the bell pepper?
Oh, well, we've been having a little trouble with critters wanting to nibble on them. Mostly, it's the birds that peck them. And it seems to do pretty good to protect them against getting pecked and making a rotten spot on them. And we've actually been able to keep a lot more when we bag them. Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. Yep. I just discovered something that is one of the coolest things that happens in my garden, and I hadn't seen this. We've had a few of our turmeric bloom. I'm going to try not to rip the plug out of my earbuds here. Yep. But this is turmeric, all these big leaves. And look at that bloom.
Wow.
This is a brand new, these things are like really heavy and sturdy. And it acts kind of like a pitcher plant. It captures water inside here. And waters itself, and it's working on building up energy. Now this one doesn't have any much. There's a little bit of the purple coloration on the end of the petal, but that is the first time I've seen any of the turmeric up here bloom. That's very cool.
Well, I have one more question for you from the audience again. It is Darth X saying, how long does it take for a pomegranate tree to go that tall?
I don't know. These were planted by the previous owner. He was an avid gardener. We were actually very blessed to have landed at this house. In fact, the day I've told the story before, we've been looking for 4 years for a house, and one day Mrs. Bowtie's Zillow pops up and goes, bing. And she says, hey, this house is described as a gardener's paradise. And as she's passing it over to me, it goes, bing, open house in the morning at 9 a.m. Needless to say, we were there at 8:45 the next morning. And I swear, Jay, I don't think we breathed the first 5 minutes of being in this house. And the open space and everything about it, we just saw so much. We were looking for a blank slate, and this thing is about as blank slate as we could have possibly imagined. And in fact, I'll walk in, and we'll end up on the special wall, because you'll notice we no longer have a white door. Previous owner liked white things, and actually we have the new hardware now. All the hardware is going to be black. But it's beautiful job. And hang on, I've got a problem here because I did not mute you. Looky there. I'm going to have to mute you. You're on the TV.
Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, y'all have seen the artwork on the wall that we've had done. That's beautiful. And I did start the tile work. In fact, you can go in here and see it's this it's called farmhouse chestnut tile work. But and yes, this is a bathroom. There's no toilet in it yet. I've been working on cleaning this up today. But we want to go this way into the master bedroom. I'm giving Mrs. Bowtie a little warning, though I know, and you can see the wall back there.
that's the feature wall. Yes.
This is the feature wall, and it's bubbles, and the whole wall is just covered with these bubbles. And they're panels that we glued up, and it's just a texture feature. And we discovered, if you notice up here by the light, in fact, let me see if you can see the light really highlights the bubbles. And Mrs. Bowtie is looking for, she wants to get one of those lights with 3 cylinders on different levels here and light it from the side, and possibly one from the other side as well. What did Robin say? Show and tell.
Yeah.
Oh, with Johnny. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway,
promoting her thing coming up.
Absolutely. So you can see the color scheme. We've got our choice cream walls. We've got our what is it? Morning fog and bungalow house blue doors, and that's the bathroom on one side and the closet on the other. But there is going to be more lighting in here. We have can lighting to put in here still, and among other things. So anyway, it's different. We like it. It's been a dream of Mrs. Bowtie's for a very long time, because one of her favorite characters is Ariel, and she loves the whole bubble theme. But these are some of the sunflowers we harvested. All the yellow in the middle has come out since we harvested this just yesterday, and it's dropping pollen everywhere. But yeah, lots and lots and lots of beautiful sunflowers. These are Baker Creek's chocolate cherry sunflowers.
You've gone above and beyond with a garden and a house tour. I have a couple of other people in the basement, so unfortunately I'm going to cut you a little bit short.
Nope, today. You go.
However, we so appreciate you taking the time, showing us through your place, discussing what's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the garden situation.
Ugly.
Just letting you know, we will be having a community show in the near future, not next weekend, but we're just working out the dates. So then perhaps we can have a longer, fuller tour at that time.
Well, you saw just about everything I was going to show, so we're good.
Yes, super. Thank you so much. I so appreciate this. For any of the people who are choosing to show up in the show, if you want to have an after chat when the show is all over in about 25 minutes, that's fantastic. For those of you in the basement, I am, I guess that sounds kind of bad. Those on the backstage.
in the green room. It's the green room.
There we go. So sorry. Amateur here. For those of you here in the green room, I will be picking you out at sequence. You can, chat for as little or as much as you want, but we have about 25 minutes left in the show. So thank you, David, so much for all the support you give for the show. In your exhaustion and everything going on in your life, we are super glad you took some time out for our show.
Absolutely. Good to see everybody.
Great. Thanks. Bye. So that was Bowtie David. He is a great supporter of this channel. Super busy time in his life, and we're going to be trying to have some more time with him when he has a chance to breathe from all the projects he's got going on in his life. Okay. The next person in our backstage green room is Katrina. Are you all set to go, Katrina? Thumbs up. Fantastic. We're going to bring her on stage, and here we go. Katrina, yay! Her channel is Sow and Tear. Tell us about your gardens and what's going on.
Yeah, so the garden this year has been interesting. I got my garden in super late, and we had a late freeze, and then we had some heat, so everything got wonky. But I know that my garden's wonkiness is the same as everybody else's garden's wonkiness, so I'm doing all right.
Okay.
We have apples falling from the tree right now. Have some
good.
nice grass-fed deer happening. They know me. I can sit here and they're right over there. They're not there right now, but I talk to them, so that's something that's happening. I did run to the garden and get some of this stuff while you were talking.
Okay.
I wanted to show a couple different kind of weeds that you can eat. There's a lot of weeds in my garden, which we can go up and see, but one of them is a dock. It's curly dock, and that leaf right there is well, it's wilty now, but it's totally edible. It's going to be a little salty, so I'm not really going to eat it by itself, but you can totally eat that. That's a weed. Another weed that I have is mallow, and that is found all over the place, and it's edible, and it's just okay. It's like a green. But that's probably everybody that watches this either has looked at this plant and gone, oh, that's a stupid weed, or not. So,
well, I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as you, but I'm starting to learn that weeds are indicators for a lot of things. They're trying to tell you things about your soil and what's going on. They're like little alarm bells that if you know how to interpret them correctly, they're trying to tell you things that are happening. And more than you think, properly identified, are actually edible and usable. Some need cooking or processing.
So here's another weed, and this is purslane. This is common purslane. And I did not have this in my garden last year, so it must have come in with some of the soil stuff that I got. You'll see in the middle here, there's some flower buds. And these had little tiny yellow flowers, and the seeds are tinier than a pinprick. They are like so tiny. So once this seed's in your yard, you better like it.
Okay.
If you don't want this to spread everywhere, now's the time to pick it. It's a good. It's really easy to get rid of. That's the good news. It's really easy to pull up. I'm just gonna let it go because it's a nice succulent leaf, crunchy. And it has a little bit of citrus. It's high in vitamin C, and you can add it to salads, add it to dishes, and then also if you're cooking with it, you add it at the very end so it doesn't lose your vitamin C content. And I wanted to show you, I know you're interested in the Vietnamese coriander. You're like, that's interesting. This is what it looks like.
Okay.
And it's obviously not a coriander the way we know coriander to be, but it smells and tastes very similar. And it doesn't bolt. It's a long-term plant. If we didn't frost or freeze here, it would go year round. So I might be digging this up. French tarragon is another thing that's going in my yard right now. If you don't know this plant, it's super, super good. It's a herb, and it's like has that black licorice taste a little bit. And it's good on more things than you think. Stir fry everything. Okay, and then I have some sage. These are some pretty young sage plants. But cooking sage, culinary sage, really good cooked in butter. And for all of those people who have way too many male pumpkin or squash or zucchini flowers right now, pick those flowers after the morning because they've already done their duty. You can eat them. Pick them. Make up some brown butter with this. These are dessert leaves. Put some cream cheese, a little bit of date, and some of this inside. Twist it back up, put it on and cook it in that brown butter, the sage brown butter. That's dessert.
Wow.
So yeah. And then one other thing that I picked is, so I told you guys earlier, actually, okay, here's basil. I have a bunch of basil. That's a success story this year.
Oh,
that's one that I forgot. so this year I planted beets and I planted radishes earlier in the year, and no beets and 2 radishes came up. And similar story for the person across the valley here. Similar story. So I let my radishes go to seed rather than harvest 2 beets. They're seeding and flowering still now, and I'm going to get a lot of seeds. But here's what the seed pod looks like. I don't know which kind it is. I planted 3 different kinds.
Okay.
I know it's not the black one, but there's what the seed pod looks like.
Yeah.
And you can either use it for seed, or you can have it as a snack, and it's super good. And there are some radish varieties, not this one, but some radish varieties that are done for their seeds. You can see the seeds inside.
Yes.
But the whole thing's edible.
It's in a little, sort of like a white pulp, and then the seeds within that.
Yeah. And when this gets hard, that will be a casing for the seeds, and then it'll harden, and then it'll split open once it's time for it to split open. It'll split open. So when we buy seeds, we're buying that inside part. We're not buying the whole pod.
Mm-hmm.
They've already gone through the process of it hardening naturally, and then it pops open. So yeah, they're good. Again, just eat them on salads, eat them however you want. Now these will harden. Once they harden, they're not really worth eating.
Yeah.
But
I tried and was corrected on my misassumption. Yes.
No, I mean, what you can
Edible.
eat them. It just might be a little hard and woody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did also want to show you, because just right over here.
Yep.
You said Miss Jaybot that you have a Gravenstein.
I do.
And I want to show you my Gravenstein. I think I've shown you it before.
Yes, I think
this Gravenstein.
Yep.
I can't really see because the one's in my eye.
Yeah.
Furthest that way.
Wow.
And I'm guessing it was planted in the 40s, because that's when this house was built. And I want to show you just how much fruit is on there, and it doesn't come off until later.
Yes.
So this is a late apple.
Yes. Wow.
You get a good look at the fruit.
Look at that. Wow.
Tons and tons and tons. And so it's really, really cool, really neat apple. And right now it's dropping the small ones. We call those deer apples, and the deer are eating them. Got apple-fed deer right here. And so yeah, this apple tree is not dropping anything yet. This apple tree I don't know the name of. Only reason why I know this one's because I know a lady who knew the lady who originally owned his house.
Okay. Yes.
So
yes, Gravensteins are a unique apple that most people don't see in retail, unaware of. We're starting to lose you because you're getting away from your Wi-Fi. Yeah.
I thought we might be able to make it. Anyway.
Just
so yeah, the Gravenstein. The Gravenstein is a good one. It's closer to it's like a baking apple.
Mm-hmm.
The other apple here I don't know the name of, but it's a sweeter apple.
Yes.
And so
but I can tell you, I started eating my Gravensteins, and
you can
get in the mindset they're a sour, different thing. They're actually delicious in their own right, you know.
And they're not as sour. Granny Smith. Yeah. They're not as pungent as that.
Yeah.
But they are on that scale. I'll tell you what, they make really good juice.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yeah, any of your sour apples, they're going to be a better juicing apple or a better cider apple. And it's really, really good for juice. And whereas this apple, it's good for juice. You'd think the sweeter apples would be great for juice. It's weird. It's not as good. It's good, but it's not as good when you take them together.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show today. I really appreciate the show and tell, the deliciousness. I'm actually jealous of you with your apple right now. We will be doing a full community show later on. My intention was just try to give people a chance to share a bit about their garden. And we will have a backstage area afterwards if you've got a chance for a bit of a hangout. But thank you so much. I'm not going to ask you to say more with your mouth full of apple. So see you later. So
Thank you.
Katrina. Thank you. Okay, so thanks so much, Katrina, for doing that session there. I'm going to bring in our other guests. There's 2 remaining guests that were going to be in here. I'm just going to quickly mention here a question that Serena mentioned earlier on in the show. I don't know the answer to it. Serena is asking, so I'm putting it out to the audience. At Farmer's Market, a vendor selling peaches had a sign that said not to squeeze the peaches because it will bruise them if people are too hard on them. Like too much of a squeeze. What other ways can you tell if peaches are ready or not? Now, I'm not a peach professional. I have not done any research on this, but for the peaches I have, this will be my first growing peaches. But when I check them in the store, I do extremely gentle pressure to see if there's a little bit of a give so that I don't bruise them, but yet I see if they seem to be ready. If anyone's got any further information that's going to be helpful to Serena, please put that in the comments. And thank you for asking that question, Serena. And hopefully our audience has some answers. So our next guest, are you all set to go? Thumbs up if you're ready. Fantastic. So we're going to bring to the stage Robin.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
So glad you came to help us out today. She's been helping us in the chat area, and here she is talking about her garden. So what's growing on?
Well, actually, I'll take the time to talk about the Cherokee Carbon because we had a long little back and forth in the chat. So the Cherokee Carbon is an F1 hybrid between the Cherokee Purple and the Carbon. So 2 really tasty heirloom tomatoes on their own. But for years, our favorite was the Cherokee the Cherokee Purple. But it's such a diva in the garden and inconsistent production. But taste was so marvelous. But last year, I did them for the first time. I had over 60 of these beauties coming off from the plants. This is the only indeterminate in our garden that I have 2 plants of. I'm doing 24 varieties this year, but I have been Splitty City, if you have seen my recent video, after the rains. And these have been really, really good. I haven't had too much problem. I mean, you can see, I've got some split action on the top of them, but not bad. This one's probably the worst one I have here inside right now, and not bad, still perfectly edible. But these are delicious. I can't recommend them enough. And I mean, it's a hybrid between 2 tomatoes, but let's face it, it's a hybrid between 2 really tasty tomatoes, not a really, healthy tomato and a really good taster. So if you save seed, either of the parents are going to be tasty, right? Mm-hmm. Never tried it, but that's a possibility. And I have a whole bowl of them, about 25 tomatoes, and I'm going to go out and pick. I've got at least another 10 out there tonight. And these are great for roasting, for saucing, for you name it. So anyways, did anyone else have any more questions about the Cherokee Carbon?
Well, Val Thatcher has a question. She goes, I'm sold. Where do you get the seeds for next year's tomatoes?
Well, I've gotten them both last year and this year from Botanical Interest. I mean, I'm not affiliated with them or whatever, but that's where I have gotten them. And I've had great luck. Now, you only get 10 seeds in a pack.
Okay.
But I've had 100% germination both years. So, not a problem. And I've actually sent these places, maybe that I shouldn't have, but
they fell
and everybody loves them.
They fell in the envelope.
Yeah, Yes, the old birthday card. I'll tell you, it has a sort of an old world tomato flavor, a little bit smoky, rich. I mean, I just can't say enough about this tomato. It's delicious.
Okay. Wow. And
Anyways, that's all I wanted to come on and say. I was gonna. So I know Joe's sitting in there, at least in the.
Yep.
Okay.
So, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It sounds like a really delicious tomato. I'm severely tempted by it, and yeah, we got more information from Shawnee about what it's about there in the comments, and you've told us how and where we can find them and their origin, and just a whole lot of great details, and I so appreciate it. Just a reminder to you and anybody else in the chat that this is just kind of a quick check-in time now about what's going on in the garden, sharing whatever we want. We're going to have a full community show, no date yet determined, but upcoming fairly soon, maybe 2-3 weeks. We'll see what happens with Enoch when he comes back and who and what he has scheduled. But
when can I do one little quick thing on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Chad's channel, the Down Home Backyard Gardening channel.
Okay.
Shawnee and I will both be on, and we're going to be talking nightshades. And then at 9 o'clock on her channel, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, we will be on Shawnee's channel doing our normal roots and rambles. And our intent is to be doing show and tell, whatever we got going on in the garden in the moment.
Okay.
Same night. So it's like a Shawnee Robin double header.
Correct. So here is the link here to from Shawnee regarding you guys on Down Home Backyard Gardening. And I'm sure somewhere in the comments there, I can't find it in a hurry, but there's going to be a link somewhere in there regarding the Shawnee show. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a double header of them. My time, Eastern time, which you'll have to translate to yours, is 7 p.m. to go to see Chad's show. And then 3 hours later will be the start of Shawnee and Robin's presentation. But they're going to be in both places. So we're getting excellent focus and excellent time with them on this Thursday night.
All right. Thanks, Jay. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, super. So we're getting short on time. I'm just going to bring to the stage Joe from Muddy Puddles Farm. Glad to see ya. Can you hear me?
Oh, no.
You're on now. Yep.
Hi, sorry, I think I've got a bit of delay on my video and the time.
Okay. So how about if you just tell us what you have on?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a delay, so I'm just going to start talking. So basically, there we go. So I've had to turn the time off. My headphones aren't working, so that's really unhelpful. Let's see if I can work it out. Right, I don't know if I can hear you. Anyway, I will just talk and then we'll go from there. So I gathered everything together ready, and I'll turn the camera around if I can work out how to do that. Front facing to show you some of the things. Oh, back facing. There we go. Some of the things that I've harvested. So I've got my first pumpkin, which is pretty huge at the moment. And then I've just got a selection of the things I've been growing. I've tried to like pick one out of everything because I know time's really short. So most of my onions are like this chappy here, but this is my giant onion, which for size is pretty darn huge. It's as big as my head. But I've done really well with things like the kohlrabi this year. I have got tons of different types of squash, as you can see, and this chappy here, and corn's coming in, more courgettes, and I have got a huge pile of different spices that I've put together for my teas. And more than that, I have got in my cupboard, my pantry's overflowing. This is like overflow from my pantry of all the things I've preserved. So they're chutneys and onion marmalades and jams and things in there. Yeah, so it's going on really, it's all grown really, really well this year. I like that. That's not a giant onion, that's a giant watermelon. It is quite big. Now I have to say, with buying melons, they didn't germinate and then just come on. They've now grown and I've got some melons, but they're about the size of grapes. I think Dave's grape from earlier is about the size of my melon, so I'm hoping that they will come on and will grow and become something. So everything's growing really, really well. I was going to mention, Katrina mentioned the flowers from the squash and the pumpkins earlier, and that's brilliant. But what I've also learned quite recently is that you can steam the leaves. They're completely edible too. And those leaves are absolutely delicious. You can stuff them with like a spiced rice or something like that. Let's see if I can change this camera back to facing me. I don't know. I'll turn it off. And front facing. There we go. Front facing. Done. There we go. I'm back. There. And it's really weird because I can't hear you because my headphones just cut out and stopped working. So I can't hear anything you're saying to me unless I put the volume on my tablet, in which case we'll get feedback. So if it's all right with you, you can switch me off. Anyway, take care. Thanks for having me. I'm sorry about that.
So she's unable to hear me in the show, but thank you so much for Joe from Muddy Puddles Farm for showing us an amazing abundance of product. That was fantastic. I can't believe what she's producing out of her garden. Way more variety than me. We're kind of at time now. I want to thank everybody for showing up in the audience, being there for us in the chat. Just a reminder to you to like, share, subscribe. We're looking to try and have some funds donated to help Enoch get to the fall show at Rare Seeds. So if any of you are able to help with that, that would be fantastic. Thanks again to all the people who showed up in our show to talk about their gardens, show us specific products that produce that is developing in their gardens. We so appreciate that. We will be having a community show going on in the near future in which you guys will be all of the feature instead of someone like me talking about what's going on in my garden. Just a reminder that we're here on Saturday, Sunday, and we will be happy to see you at that time. I'm going to close out for now. Thank you so much for being here with us. Hope to see you again. Don't forget to support the people that are there in the chat. Many people are looking for watch hours. There's different shows coming up. There's been links in the chat, and we so appreciate you being here with us, and see you next Saturday and Sunday with Enoch. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
All right, they're gonna run. See you on the flippy flops.